Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I used to have anxiety attacks all the time. That was it's a real drag to have to go through that shit. Every once in a while, I might slip into one, but I've learned a way to handle it. Because a lot of people, when they have anxiety attacks, they don't really know what to do. They don't know how to snap out of it. And they don't know that they're in a prime position to reprogram their brain. Having anxiety attacks for me was just an incredible state of weakness, because when you're mentally strong, bad news, bad things can happen, and you can be more resilient instead of being in a place of reaction, because that's what an anxiety attack is. It's a reaction. You could be in more of a state of responding, which is calculated, which is thoughtful. And when you respond to something is when you're taking action. When you're in an anxiety attack, you're reacting and you're not taking any action. You're just basically killing yourself. You're torturing yourself. My trick, I'll get right to it, is through exercise. Strenuous exercise with body weight movements will allow you to be into a mindset that is conducive towards accepting a new positive affirmation, which can conquer your self-talk, that negative self-talk that's running like crazy when you have an anxiety attack. So for example, what I do is I'll take, if I get an anxiety attack and I'm just in high anxiety moment, I can drop and do push-ups. I'll do those push-ups to failure, which means that you just keep going. You don't do them just for 10 push-ups or 15. You don't count them. You're going until you physically can't push anymore. Not just till you get a little tired or you start burning a little, but till you can't push anymore, until total failure. About 2/3 of the way through. So say, for example, if you are counting and if you're doing 20, if you fail after 20, at around 15, I'll start running a positive affirmation. And I'll start in my head, I'll start telling myself that one sentence positive affirmation over and over and over again. And that voice will get louder and louder as I get weaker and weaker. And by the time that I've completely dropped by 20 push-ups, I'm dropped on the ground, I'm breathing hard, I'm sweating, I can't do any more, I can't push, my arms are spaghetti, my whole body just feels like it's burning, and I'm laying there on the ground. I'm still running as hard as I can, that positive affirmation, that sentence, to counteract that negative feeling. Now, it's important with this, when you're going through an anxiety attack, to start asking yourself questions. You want to pretend that you're a detective, like Columbo or Sherlock Holmes, because you want to get down to the root cause. And the root cause is usually fear-based mentality, something that's making you afraid, that's causing you to be into a fight or flight response. For example, my mother was diagnosed with cancer last year. She had to go through chemo and radiation. I was very worried about her, and this was serious. She had gone through skin cancer before, but they could just remove that. This had to be treated. It was 6 weeks. She's old. She wasn't in the best shape, and I was really worried. And I'm 700 miles away. I feel like I'm useless. I can't go anywhere. We're in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. Travel is hard. Everybody's forced to quarantine. You know, it just felt like shit. My mom's gonna die. I'm too far away from her. I can't even do anything about it. I can't be helpful. I don't know what to do. And that was the main thing I kept telling myself, was this negativity of, I don't know what to do. I don't want my mom to die. If she dies, you know, and you take that baton and run with it around the track. If she dies, then all these other bad things can happen. And then I'll turn into this type of person, and blah, 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 blah. You run with these kind of negative fantasies. Because the future, it's just a potential future of bad decisions and missteps you're thinking about. This is how, a lot of how anxiety works, is dealing with fantasy. But you can't control your mind. My mind was literally out of control and I just couldn't stop it. Well, you can stop it. And it's through exercise. I don't care if you have to go run around the block 10 times or whatever works for you. But you can do this anywhere. That's why it's good to just do body movements. You don't need weights. You're not trying to hurt yourself. And I drop and do some push-ups. And as I'm 2/3 of the way through, I can do a lot more than 20 push-ups. So as I'm getting closer to 50, I'm starting to tell myself around 40 push-ups, I can handle anything that comes my way. And start to counteract the exact thought process that I was going through on the negative side with a positive affirmation. That's where it makes it relatively easy to come up with the right affirmation for you if you can identify what's the exact thing and be humble and admit it to yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody else. So you can admit your deepest fear to yourself and admit it to yourself of what is it that's fucking me up here. Even if it's completely irrational, like in my case, you can just get down to what it is. What is that fear? And counteract it with something specifically targeted on the other side of that. If you feel like that you're unloved, say if you just got dumped, you're feeling unworthy, and God, I know what it's like to be dumped hard. You can tell yourself, I am worthy of love. That kind of thing. The exactly opposite of how you're feeling. And when you're doing those push-ups, or whatever it is that you choose to do, you can do burpees, squats, and your body's burning, you're about to drop on the ground, you're on those last few. You run that message as loud as you can, like a drill sergeant that's yelling it at you, pounding that message into you. And when you're on the ground, after you've completely given out, you continue to run that message. You run it all the way until you're ready to stand up, go take your drink of water. You'll probably be dehydrated and sweaty. Go wipe yourself off. But your endorphins will be pumping. Your blood will be pumping through your whole body. Your mind is in an incredibly receptive state at that moment. And just keep telling it to yourself all the way until you calm down. And you will calm down. And when you calm down, you will be at a more of a resting place than you were when you started the whole exercise. Because when you started the whole exercise, your heart rate was up. You were thinking about the most negative, crazy shit. You're having a panic attack. You can do this twice if you have to. It doesn't take too many times. I don't think, even off the worst news and heavy-duty panic attacks, I don't think I've ever had to do it more than twice. And you're actually resetting your brain. You're reprogramming your brain. I used to have anxiety attacks all the time, and this became a regular practice of mine. And as I would do this exercise, I became stronger. I realized that my anxiety attacks were happening less and less. Now, there's a lot more that goes into anxiety than just simply a push-up trick. I've made other videos about the topic. But this is a tactic that you can use when you're in the moment, when you're having your little freak out session, when shit really feels fucked up and out of your control, that you can calm down and take control of your mind and your body, that you can brainwash yourself in a way and use your weakness as a way to induce strength, to physically push yourself to the limit in order to create an environment of where a positive affirmation sets in the best, like it's chiseled in stone. And these messages stay with you. And even on your calm periods, when you're not having your anxiety attack, when you're just going through your regular day, that new message is in there. It's laid in there. It's etched in your brain. I am worthy of love, or I can handle anything I set my mind to. Whatever it was that you told yourself. I have a couple, because I've gone through multiple issues where I've had panic attacks, had anxiety attacks. So this is a great trick. I encourage people to try it if you have this kind of problem. It's helped me in tremendous ways. Thanks for watching.